Next week, we get a brand new Death Note movie. It's coming from Netflix. It's gonna be live action, but people are very concerned because it looks very different from what the original anime looks like. My name is Globku, and these are 10 concerns that people have with the Netflix movie Death Note. Number 10.
We're not the good guys anymore.
Hope you know what you're doing.
We're not the good guys anymore. This quote has a lot of people concerned because it destroys the whole concept. Both Light and L are on different ends of the spectrum, but they both think they're right. They're both executing their own justice according to their own beliefs. And that's true from the beginning of the anime until the end of the anime. And they both understand each other's side, but their belief is stronger and unwavering. So Light realizing that we're not the good guys anymore, that is very uncharacteristic of this character. There is a saving grace, which is what if Light is talking about the public perception and not actually what he believes in, but there's some stuff around this trailer that makes me believe that no, that's actually what he thinks. And I think in general people are concerned that that's the case too. Light is realizing that he's not the good guy anymore, so the god complex that he has in the anime kind of goes away here, and that's really not faithful to the original character. Number 9. Light is portrayed as an outcast. So in the trailer we see Light being bullied. We see him as the outcast. In the original work, he's this super popular guy. He's extremely smart, extremely good looking, and he's bored with his day-to-day life because everything's too easy for him. He's too much of a genius, and that's why he uses the book. He feels like his genius is meant to something greater than just going to school every day. Judging from the trailers, Light seems to be bullied, and that's why he wants to bring justice into the world. That's a very different motivation, a very different background, which changes the entire story, and people are concerned about that. Which leads us to the next point. Light is being made as a relatable character. Alright, so in the original manga, Light was a polarizing character, and I think one of the core things that makes Death Note what it is its ability to make us question if we're on Light's side. Light is the main character, so we relate to him very easily, but we start to see his behavior and start questioning ourselves, is this guy really the good guy in this story? Do we really agree with him? Are we rooting for him to succeed? If they try to make Light as a relatable character as they seem to be doing judging from these trailers, then moral ambiguity is going to be thrown out the window. And that really is one of the core things about Death Note, and I think it's a shame if that actually happens. Number 6, it's too long for a movie. There's too much ground to cover in a single movie, and it should have been a Netflix series. This is a comment that I see time and time again. They're gonna have to cut a lot of stuff from the movie, as it's evident by the trailers. Maybe that's why Mia is with Light from the very beginning, while in the manga he had weeks to learn how to use the Death Note on his own before Misa even came into play. And maybe that's also why we see Ryuk teaching Light how to use the Death Note, simply because we didn't have enough time for Light to learn all of its intricacies on its own. And in the end, cutting too much content from the original work to cramp it all into a movie, it's gonna damage the final product. Number 5, L is wearing shoes. Seriously, guys? That's your problem with this movie? Okay. Number 4, Misa seems to be in a relationship with Light. Misa, or Mia as it's been portrayed in this movie, is talking to Light as an equal. In the manga, Misa is an incompetent idiot who gets in Light's way. She admires him to no end, but because of her sheer stupidity, Light has trouble keeping her from ruining his plans. In the movie, Mia seems to be with Light from the very start, before he even finds the Death Note, and that's fine, that's a change that I'm okay with. But what's troubling is how much the movie seems to be playing up this romanticism, this relationship. Judging from the trailer, it seems there are many moments highlighting the romance between the two, which is a completely different relationship from what we got in the original and will surely change a lot in the story. Number 3, Light has no initiative. This is a concern people have regarding Light's personality, because we see Ryuk pushing him into action, we see Mia pushing him into action. In the manga, Light found out how to use the Death Note. He found out about its abilities, even Ryuk didn't know about some of its uses. He tested its limits. He found out the stuff on his own because he wanted to make stuff happen. In the trailer, Ryuk is feeding him the information, and Light's passiveness during the whole thing kinda bothers me. It's like he doesn't really want to do this, but he's pressured to do it, and just like a little whiner, he just does everything he's asked of. Number 2, Ryuk is also too pushy. It's not only Light's fault, Ryuk is usually a bystander, he's neutral. In the manga, he was bored and he dropped the Death Note because he wanted Light to use it. But he wasn't this pushy, he wasn't the Emperor in Star Wars whispering, "Come to the dark side." Nah, he just dropped the book and watched chaos unfold. That's Ryuk's personality. He's not the guy poking light with stick, seeing if he actually jumps into action. No, he wants stuff to happen, but he wants to stay as neutral as possible because he likes being the spectator. And at the number 1, all of this brings us to the main general concern, which is all of this just gives us this feeling that this is just gonna be an action flick. It's not gonna be the battle of minds that we loved in the anime, and I guess I can chime in with my personal opinion here as well, just to kind of summarize this whole list. I don't mind most of the changes that we've highlighted today. In fact, I look forward to seeing an American adaptation of Death Note. I don't mind that individual characters have different relationships, or even behave differently, or wear shoes. But I'm definitely worried this is just gonna be an action flick, and the core of Death Note will be lost. If this movie can't make us question our morals, whether we're on Light's side or not, if it doesn't make us struggle intellectually to keep up with Light's and L's deductions, if it clearly paints a good and a bad guy, then it won't be Death Note at all. And that's ultimately my concern, because this is going to be the first time that a lot of people are going to be watching Death Note. They haven't watched the anime, they haven't read the manga, they're just going to watch this movie, and I'd hate for Death Note's reputation to be ruined like this, to be known as an action flick. But of course, it's just a trailer, I'm going to watch it anyway, but I don't have very high expectations. But whatever our complaints may be, everyone agrees Willem Dafoe as Ryuk was the perfect casting. God, that voice is so good.
Shall we begin?
And that's all we have for you today, but not everything is bad with Netflix. They've announced 13 new anime recently, and if you want to know what they are and if they're any good, watch this video right here. If you're in the mood for something else, click this video right here. But as always, thank you very much for watching. My name's Globku, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.